Hi everybody, it's Joanne here with a work in progress, and today I wanted to share with you how to make a pumpkin from, of all things, flexible foil duct. And you can pick this up at a Lowe's Improvement or a Home Depot, or I would imagine any home improvement store. I was lucky enough to find this package at a local thrift store, and it was unopened, but I have already crafted 3 pumpkins out of it. I saw a picture on Pinterest which gave me the inspiration to do this, and then I just kind of tweaked them a little bit to make them my own. Let me show you what the pumpkin will look like when it's all finished. Now this one I left, look at that, doesn't that look like a pumpkin? This one I left plain silver. I may paint him in the future, but for right now I'm leaving him silver. Made this one. He's a smaller one. I was actually thinking about stacking them, and the smaller one on the top obviously, and then just going down in size. Now this one I painted. I will tell you, when I painted it, I used the craft paint from Walmart, the little bottles, the 50, I think they're 50 cents a piece. It took 2 coats of the paint, but I think you can see some of the silver coming through, which is exactly what I wanted. So there's that little guy. And then I made another one, which you can see here. I'll have to fix. He's coming apart a little bit here. And that's because this is the smallest one. And the smaller you make them, the harder it is to keep them together. Now, I would guess perhaps with some E6000 and some clamps overnight, this would have stayed, but I just used hot glue. So that is one thing. This is probably about the smallest that you could make one of the pumpkins in order for it to actually make kind of a circle for you. This size right here, the silver one, is the size I really like. Another thing you want to be careful when you're making them though, you don't want to make them so big that there's an actual, like a real hole going through the center of your pumpkin. You want some place to be able to stick your little stem into. And Valerie has decided to join us a little bit. So what are you going to need for this project? You will need the flexible foil duct. For the stems, I used burlap. You can go out into your backyard and pick out some sticks, which would be beautiful. A pair of scissors, some wire cutters, yay, I had a pair, and a hot glue gun, and I have some extra sticks here because I'm about to run out. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to pull you down so that you can see the work surface here. There we are. So really, however big or small you want to make your pumpkin, it truly is up to you. Like I said though, I would be careful trying to make them too small because you are going to have trouble getting them to stay together. And I think once, see how, this is sort of stretched, it starts to a little bit lose that pumpkin effect on it. Maybe that's why I painted that one orange. Okay, so I'm going to take my flexible duct here. And you can see it just pops right open, gets bigger. And I'm kind of winging it, to be honest with you guys. So I'm just going to coil it around and see if that's a size that I think I might like. It's sort of trial and error. I'm going to make him right here. And this stuff is a little tougher than I originally gave it credit for being. And since this does spiral, when you make your cut around here, it's not going to come out perfect on the other side. And as I'm cutting, you might be able to see what I mean. So there, see? Here is where I end up. Right here, that's where I started, and they don't line up. But that's okay, you're going to hide that when you're making your pumpkin. So I'm going to use my wire cutters here. Snip that. And cut the rest of that foil, I guess that is. Okay. So, as you can see, come on guy, that is going to be my pumpkin. And that's a good size. I like that size. Now you've got your two edges here. What I am actually going to do, I'd kind of like my raw edges to be at about the same place so that I can put them together, if that makes any sense. Once I glue it, I can turn it over so that you won't be able to see any of those raw edges. So let me go ahead. Here's my starting point. I'm going to kind of go straight across from that. Snip that. And then cut the paper. Okay, there we go. So now you can see what I mean, that the rough edges are almost at the same place on my pumpkin. And you want to just tuck those little edges in there, and then we will start gluing. Hopefully my glue gun has warmed up. I do have it on a hot setting, so I'm going to have to be super careful not to burn myself here. So I'm going to put the glue inside on the foil, but I'm also going to put it, more importantly really, on the edge of the wire as best I can. Oh, of course, I am running out of glue right now. Okay, put those together, and then I am going to hold onto them with that wire cutter while that sets, because I do not want to touch that and end up burning myself. Oop, okay. I did find with making the few that I have already done that the longer you hold this together, the better chance you have of it sticking. And you can always use a combination too of the E6000 and the hot glue if you would like to do that. Okay, yeah, that's pretty cool. Okay, so I'm going to keep going around with my hot glue and on the edge. Hold that together. See, I'm really trying to, oh, that's getting hot. Sorry. Trying to line up the wire edges so they're right on top of each other. And we'll hold this for a little bit. These look so adorable. I thought they did when they were finished. I have to tell you though, my darn dogs got into them today. I don't know who the culprit was. It was Jackson or Charlotte, but one of them, I had the pumpkins set up in a little galvanized bucket, and one of my dogs decided they didn't like them there. So they pulled them out. Darn dogs are just like having kids. There we go. Hold that again until that sets a little bit. So see, we have a kind of a nice little hole in there. That'll be a nice place to put our stem. Okay, and I'm going to turn this around. Whoops, come on now. Don't undo now. Stick that in there a little bit. But that's going to be on the bottom, so that part we're not going to see regardless. Stick the hot glue in there. And again, just hold it with the wire cutters or some kind of clamp or something, just so you don't burn your finger. That's the primary reason for that. Because you know how hot that hot glue can get, especially when you have it on the hot setting, which is what I have. I don't know if blowing on it helps it or not to cool any quicker. This is the longest part of making this pumpkin, is waiting for the hot glue to dry. Alrighty, let's see. I think that for, yep, I think for our purposes that will be good. So here's kind of the rough edge. You might be able to see a little bit there. So I'm just going to flip that over so I can't see it. And there is our pumpkin, guys. So next I'm going to make the stem for it. I'm just going to cut myself a piece of the burlap ribbon. This I purchased 2 big rolls of that some time ago at one of the thrift stores that I go to for I think $2 a roll. It was a really good buy. So now I'm just going to twirl that around, and I'm going to make it kind of a cone shape, so it's a little thinner up here but gets fatter as you go down. And then I also like that edge effect right here that it makes, and I don't care that that's kind of fuzzy up there, that's fine by me. And I'm just kind of playing with it as to how long I want to make it. I'll cut off that excess, and using my scissor here I'm going to stick it. Now I would say to go ahead and hot glue this in, but since I think I might end up painting this pumpkin, I'm going to wait to actually hot glue the stem in it. And we skip a little bit on the side there, and that's coming a little undone. A little dab of hot glue would be good right there. There he is. It's pretty quick and easy, don't you think? So let me pull you back up again. That's it, guys. There's our little pumpkin. I even like the silver. I actually really like the silver too. But there's our little pumpkin made out of that. I have to look at what this is called again so I make sure I tell you correctly. Out of the fiber flexible duct foil. It's aluminum. This happens to be the 4-inch. The diameter on this is 4 inches. So that's it. There is our little fall pumpkin. Next crafts, I've got to get started on some Christmas ones. I've done enough fall pumpkins and such, so next is going to be Christmas. If you think you might want to give this a try, go ahead and give me a big old thumbs up, and if you liked it, give me a thumbs up for that as well. I greatly appreciate it. Let me know what you think about it. That is it for now, everybody. Until the next video, I hope you all take very, very good care of yourselves, okay? Bye-bye.